Hello, dear viewers. This is TV30, the most informative half hour in television. I am Claudia Monlouis, and with me is my guest, Ms. Rosemary Pierre-Louis, who is attached to the UBEC project. What is UBEC? UBEC is Unleashing the Blue Economy of the Caribbean. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Claudia.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Can you give us some background on the UBEC project?
Okay, so UBEC means Unleashing the Blue Economy of the Caribbean. It is a World Bank funded project and it encompasses 3 Caribbean islands and the OECS. So that would be Dominica, Grenada and St. Vincent, and of course the OECS, which is responsible for coordinating the regional policies.
Okay, and what is this project designed to achieve? What is it designed to address? It has been around for maybe 2 years, I believe?
2 years and a half right now, and it looks at how we can use the ocean to assist with economic development. So UBEC, in particular, the matching grant facility, which we will be discussing this morning, looks at 3 sectors. We're looking at the fisheries sector, marine tourism, and waste management sector. So we will be looking at MSMEs operating within these 3 sectors and how we could provide assistance to them to help them contribute more to economic development.
Okay, then, so in encompassing the UBEC, who are the persons in the community who are your stakeholders who would have to now sit up and pay attention to our discussion, because they would be a beneficiary, a potential beneficiary of the MSME Matching Grants Program?
So we're looking at, Claudia, those MSMEs operating within tourism, fisheries, and waste management sectors. And I want to say to the MSMEs, you do not have to be registered at this point. Once you are operating within these 3 sectors, this facility is for you, and you should pay close attention because there are a lot of benefits to be derived by participating in this initiative.
Okay, so let's zoom in more on the matching grants program, because I know it forms an essential part of the program. So what is the purpose of the matching grants program?
Okay, so if you know anything about our MSMEs, you would know that the issue of access to finance has been a major challenge for our MSMEs. And it's no surprise because they are small by nature. Usually they're sole traders. So essentially the owner is the business. And all of the surveys in St. Lucia that has been done on our MSMEs speaks to the issue of access to finance. All right, and the difficulty faced by our MSMEs in accessing finance. As recent as the Investment Climate Assessment Survey, issue of access to finance was a major one, ranking in the top 3 issues faced by our MSMEs. So essentially, the MSME Matching Grant Program will address the issue of providing access to finance for our MSMEs. So once you are operating within the 3 sectors that I mentioned, you will qualify to receive, or you can qualify to receive funding under the Matching Grants Program.
Okay, and as you explained, I was wondering which organization is so kind as to provide the funding.
So the funding, as I mentioned earlier, is provided by the World Bank. It's a World Bank initiative. Okay, so each of the 3 islands will have a similar initiative being spearheaded by the OECS.
Okay, and I know that there is window 1 and window 2, and we would like you to now explain it for the benefit of our stakeholders and viewers.
So window 1 now focuses on individual MSMEs. So your fisherman, okay, your farmer who is in Poale, who is harvesting sea moss, okay, your marine tourism MSMEs, for example, those persons operating jet skis at Pigeon Point and the Ramp and in Soufrière, okay. So this window 1, focuses on individual MSMEs. And these individual MSMEs can qualify for US $5,000 to US $25,000 under window 1. And of course, you have window 2. Now, window 2, Claudia, looks at those value chain groups. Okay, to come under window 2, we need a minimum of 3 MSMEs. So let's say, for example, a fisherman. A fisherman has the fish. He can partner with somebody who processes the fish, another MSME who processes the fish. And the 2 of them now can partner with a 3rd MSME who runs a restaurant, okay, who sells, you know, fish to the ordinary St. Lucian. So in the value chain, you have 3 MSMEs, at least 3 MSMEs. Okay, and under window 2, they could qualify for US $100,000 to US $150,000.
Well, a very well resourced initiative right there. And this takes me to the follow-up question, which has to do with the call for proposals of the regional MSME matching grants.
Right. So we have completed the first call for proposals. And now we're moving into the second call for proposals. We're hoping that there will be 3 calls altogether. All right. So the second call most likely will start around September. So we are now beginning to prepare MSMEs so that they can participate in the second call for proposals. And it will include, just like the first call, window 1 and window 2.
Okay, if persons may need more information about these, I'm sure that in our audience we have some micro, small and medium enterprise persons viewing our interview right now, and they may wish to contact somewhere or perhaps go online for more information.
Okay.
Can you share any contact information with them at this juncture?
Right. Okay, so right now we have a flyer which is widely circulated on social media, television, radio. We are here doing an interview to inform our MSMEs about the program. But the information is also available on the OECS website. On the flyer, there is also a contact number that interested MSMEs could reach out and they could get additional information. But there is a wealth of information about the program on the OECS website.
So we have some information sessions that the project will be embarking on. And I would like you to tell us what can we expect, where will those information sessions be held, the dates, who should attend, who should be there?
Okay, so first, what we have seen is that a lot of these programs are advertised, but usually the MSMEs do not participate in these programs because there is not adequate support for these MSMEs to complete the forms and to provide and prepare all the necessary documentation to allow them to participate in these programs. So the information sessions, these sessions are to really help our MSMEs. First, we want to give them all the information on the program so that they will feel more comfortable, so that they will be able to complete the surveys, they will become able to complete all of the forms necessary to allow them to participate in this program. So essentially, the information sessions is an information exchange. We will be giving them all the information about the program. We will be exposing them to all of the tools that they will be using during the application process. and there is a survey where they will be completing that survey and be giving us information about their businesses. So the survey is a very detailed survey. There is a link on the poster and on the flyer, as well as the OECS website, and we encourage all of them to complete these surveys because we need the information from the surveys to be able to assess these individual MSMEs. So where will the sessions be held? We're kicking off with Castries. The sessions will be held from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. on the specific days. We're kicking off with Castries at the City Hall in Castries. Then we move to Grosile. That's the Human Resource Center at Grosile. That will be on the 11th. So on the 10th is in Castries, 10th of June. 11th, we move to Grosile Human Resource Center. And then Labrie on the 12th. The following week, which is the week of the 17th, we move to Soufre on the 17th, and on the 18th, Ancillary. Thereafter, that would be week number 3, we complete with Dennery and Vieux-Fort, and the session at Vieux-Fort will be held at the Uptown Business Center on the 3rd floor. That is the Southern Division of the Ministry of Commerce. So we have tried to design these information sessions so that we capture as many of our MSMEs as possible.
Okay, can you give us the dates of those information sessions?
Okay, so as I said, we begin with Castries on the 10th. Then we move to Grosile Human Resource Center on the 11th. On the 12th, we'll be at Labrie Fisheries Cooperative. And then the 17th is at Soufre at the Cool Breeze Conference Room. On the 18th, we move to Ancillary. Ancillary, the session will be held at the Parish Hall in Ancillary. And on the 24th, Dennery at the Dennery Adventist Church. And lastly, Vieux-Fort on the 25th of June. The session will be held at the Ministry of Commerce Conference Room, Uptown Business Center on the 3rd floor. And all of the sessions, as I said, will start at 6 p.m. and will run for 2 hours.
Okay. Thank you so much for this, and I believe they will be hearing more about it in the media so
Definitely.
They can remember those very important meetings which are coming up at the community level. And just very quickly, maybe in one sentence, let us know what is, we'll hold that thought and go to a break. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Hello, OECS. Yo, OECS, this is your ocean. If I am to protect your future, we have to work together. It's the time to work together. If I am to help protect your future. Once I used to be so pure and clean, and those hills were so fresh and green. But now you see me as your dumping ground. The current situations has me choking on your pollution. Think hard about it. You will agree that really there is no you without me. Make the zero waste pledge, be responsible. Reduce your waste, recycle where possible. It's down to you, so make the commitment. Recycle for blue oceans and our betterment. Recycle OECS, green actions, blue oceans. For blue oceans and our betterment.
Welcome back. I have with me Miss Rosemary Pierre-Louis, and she is from the UBEC project, and we are discussing the blue economy. You and I were in discussion before the break as regards how the target audience will benefit, the target audience being the MSMEs, how they will benefit from the Matching Grants project. Can you go a little more in depth on the business development services that are on offer for the stakeholders of this project?
All right. Under this project, we really do believe in sustainability. Not just giving you the money, but giving you the necessary skills so that later on your own, you will be able to grow your business. And that is why we're not just focusing on giving the monies to the qualifying MSMEs, but providing them with the necessary training that they need to allow them to access even more funding for their MSMEs. So under this program, we will be providing training in a number of areas, and we're not saying that all of the MSMEs need to do all of the training, but the survey will help us identify the various gaps for each of the MSMEs, and we will focus on helping them address these gaps. So for the training, we're looking at areas of sales and marketing, access to finance. We're also looking at export development, business development, and we know in this day of technology, they need to have to know how to use, the various technologies out there. So we'll be giving them basic skills in Microsoft Word, helping them to prepare business plans, in Microsoft Excel, to allow them to keep basic information, basic financial information, showing them how to navigate PowerPoint, showing them how to write a business plan. But the MSMEs will indicate to us in the surveys the various gaps, and we will work with them to provide training in these particular areas.
Are these training sessions designed to complement the fact that they are self-employed persons?
Definitely. So it's not a high-level training, but the basic training that you need as an MSME, for example, to keep your records. A lot of them are still keeping the records on a paper. So showing them how to use Excel to create a simple template to record your daily expenditure. All right, in terms of social media, how do you use social media to market your business? So it is the essentials that they require to allow them to operate on a different level, on a higher level.
I know normally busy persons like to say, well, I don't have time for this and don't have time for that. How long would those sessions take? Are they in-person sessions that will be organized in the very communities that they reside in?
Yes. So it will be hybrid. It will be in-person, but if you cannot make it in person, you also have the option to join virtually. And the training sessions will be held throughout the country, within these communities, especially where we know our MSMEs are operating. So we already have a database and we have a fairly good idea in terms of where they are. Those MSMEs operating within these three sectors, where they are within St. Lucia. And we have chosen locations to allow as many of the MSMEs to participate, and they will tell us a time convenient to them. We're not going to impose 6 p.m. or 10 a.m. on any MSMEs. As part of the survey, they will tell us a time that is convenient for them to receive that training, and we will meet them and discuss with them and train them, because we don't just want to give them money now, but we want to prepare them for the future.
Okay, it sounds good, step by step. So what ideas can they bring to the table so they can begin to think now, the minute they've watched this TV 30, they can start to brainstorm and say, these are the ideas I can bring?
Yeah. We encourage them to be innovative. Okay, as much as there is, of course, the eligibility criteria that has been established. For example, first you need to operate within the three sectors. That's the very first criteria. You need to be within fisheries, marine tourism, or waste management. Secondly, you need to be in operation for 2 years, and you need to have the financial statements to support that. You need to be legally registered, whether it's a company or a business name. You need to have a business certificate. But for the training, we're saying to you, you don't necessarily need to be registered. In that, remember, there are 2 other calls, and you need to be registered for at least 2 years. So even if you're not registered, you could still come in and we will assist you so that we could get your business registered, so that in the 3rd call, hopefully, you can participate in the 3rd call. And we do encourage innovation. What will give you the edge over another MSME is your ability to be innovative. And let me tell you, we have great minds in St. Lucia. When you study our MSMEs, they are very innovative, they are very creative. Some of them have excellent businesses, but they just need the support to allow them to bring their business to a different level.
Okay. Will there be a special body put in place to determine who receives those matching grants?
So once we have gotten to the end of the session, which is where we assist them in preparing the grant proposals, these grant proposals will be going to the OECS. The OECS has an established committee who will be reviewing these proposals. They have an established criteria, and then they will be deciding which of the MSMEs make it to the level at which they will be actually receiving the checks, receiving the finance.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right.
So
and
as
then
early as next week, I believe, those MSMEs that applied under the first call, they should be receiving the checks.
Okay, and this is going to be publicized and
definitely
over the
because
media.
It's a way to show that the other MSMEs who are interested that this is real. You know, this is just not us talking that there is money out there. So we need to give them the checks so that they could see this is real, it is actually happening.
Okay. Is there any group, and because you said sometimes the MSMEs, they do not come forward, although there are initiatives that are put out there for them to come forward to take advantage of, they do not come forward as you would like to. Is there any group you want to pinpoint and make a special appeal to them, perhaps?
You see, a lot of the problems, I think, with our MSMEs, they do not feel maybe comfortable enough, but there are a lot of assistance available to MSMEs. I can speak to the Ministry of Commerce, Small Enterprise Development Unit. There are business development officers who are available to support our MSMEs, to give them the hand-holding they need. But I think the reason why they do not come forward, they're not comfortable enough because a lot of them, they're not registered. They really do have difficulties, especially if you're looking at now our fishers. They do have difficulties in navigating the various templates to allow them to complete a form, to allow them to get their businesses registered. So there is still that discomfort. Okay, so there are facilities available. I mean, this is one such initiative. Okay, that is available to our MSMEs to assist them, to push them forward.
Okay, so they need not be intimidated at all?
Not at all. At the information sessions, I guarantee them that they will be very comfortable. It is a simple template. Even if we have to go, and we will be going through the entire survey during the information sessions to ensure that it gets completed. And it's very simple. You do it from your phone. You don't even need an internet connection to answer the survey. We will be going through it to ensure that we get as many of them into the pool as possible.
Is there anything in place for persons who are not very digitally inclined?
Yes, so at the information sessions, we will be having support. At least 5 persons will be present to go through the forms with them and to assist them in completing the forms.
And are those persons bilingual persons who would be able to help those who are
definitely
more fluent in Creole?
Definitely. We did make a deliberate effort to ensure that those persons providing assistance are very comfortable with the Creole language, and so they need not be afraid that they will get the support to allow them to complete the surveys at the information sessions. And even if we don't meet them at the information sessions, we are walking the beaches right now and in the communities looking for them. So we are making every effort to ensure that, you know, they get the assistance and they apply for this facility.
I'm very impressed with the idea of going to them and to bring them out. And I think that is really very encouraging. Very encouraging to be on the ground. Why is the blue economy so important, and what are the islands involved? I know you alluded at the beginning, but you can refresh us again.
Okay, so the islands involved are St. Vincent, Grenada, and St. Lucia. And you ask, why the blue economy. And I ask, why not the blue economy? The blue economy contributes significantly to economic development. Globally, I believe the blue economy is at about $2 trillion annually. And that is about 5% of global GDP. Now, if we have to move away from the global statistics and look locally, I myself was surprised to know that, do you know that fish landings alone in St. Lucia is about $27 million annually? So just imagine the amount of money. Take a community, for example, Soufrière. Fish landings alone in Soufrière is about $5 million. And the same applies for Dennery. Okay? $5 million in these communities. Okay, on top of the number of employment generated from just the blue economy. In addition to that, think about all the other benefits to be derived from the blue economy. Renewable energy is another one. Marine tourism. So it contributes, if you have to delve deep into the benefits of the blue economy just locally, you would realize it makes a significant contribution. Sea transportation is about less than 1% GDP, contributes about 1% to overall GDP. All right, fisheries is about 1% of GDP. So there are a lot of benefits to be derived from the blue economy. And I'm happy that, you know, somebody thought about that eventually and decided to design a project to focus on deriving a lot more benefit from the blue economy.
Absolutely, and if the Caribbean islands are surrounded by water, we might as well tap into that.
And it's not difficult to see. Just walk Pigeon Point down to the Rum, come down to VG, and look at the amount of MSMEs we have operating beach chairs, umbrellas, jet skis. Mm-hmm. You know, think, selling trinkets from...
Yes, coral, etc. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Would that include the sea moss farmers as well?
Definitely. So we're hoping that as many of the sea moss farmers can apply under Window 1, because they definitely are players in the blue economy.
Okay. Sounds like we are almost at a point of wrapping up, so I am going to allow you the opportunity to leave some special words with our key audience, our target audience, in respect to the UBEC project and the small grants program.
Okay, so I want to say to all of our MSMEs, especially those operating within the free sectors that I mentioned, our fishermen, our sea moss farmers, those persons operating jet skis, we want you all to please come to the information sessions. If you're not able to be there physically, join virtually. Get the information. It is worthwhile. Imagine you get an injection, you're able to get an injection of up to $25,000 under Window 1, you know, to invest in your business, to allow you to purchase, say, a boat engine, to allow you to purchase equipment, to allow you to advertise your business. Okay, there are tremendous opportunities to be derived from participating in this initiative. Do not feel intimidated. The support is there, the hand-holding is there, so we encourage all of you to please participate. We do not want a case where monies maybe has to be sent back because, you know, we didn't get enough MSMEs to participate in this initiative. Please come. Get the support. It will go a long way in bringing your MSME to a different level.
Thank you so much and well said. And I want to thank you again, Ms. Rosemary Pierre-Louis from the UBEC project, for coming into the NTN studios to share with us on this very important initiative, and you're welcome back anytime so we can enlighten the public on the good work that is being done on the Blue Economy project.
Thank you very much for having me.
I want to thank our listeners on behalf of the GIS NTN team. I am Claudia Monlouis. Take good care and see you next time.